Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So Gabriel here, and today what I'm going to be doing is a lot of stuff. Now, basically what I'm going to be doing is doing my 50,000 mile maintenance, but also doing my track prep. So basically, signed up for the track day September 13th. Today is September 7th, I guess. No, not 7th. It's probably September, yeah. Oh, it is the 7th, wow. So it's September 7th. Track day is September 13th on Friday. So yeah, I'm gonna be installing a bunch of parts that I got, and I'll show you. A lot of it's like maintenance, and just a couple items are actually like quote unquote track related stuff. So let's see what I got. What we got here is a bunch of stuff. So as I said, I've got maintenance parts and I've got actual parts that we're gonna be that are track related. We'll start off, you know, kind of what we have, but basically, so we have gear oil for the transmission and the differential. I've already changed my fluids for the tranny and the diff at, I believe, 10,000 miles, right about like 10,800 or whatever. But I had my tranny serviced at 35,000 for the throttle body warranty thingy, and they basically dumped Subaru fluid in there. So now that I'm approaching 50, I've been riding around with 15,000 miles worth of Subaru fluid, and unfortunately that fluid sucks because I keep grinding forth, and it just doesn't go in as smooth as it's supposed to. So yeah, I'm gonna go back to multi-fuel, of course. So that's cool. I've got a set of Centric brake pads, PQ Pro brake pads. So these I'm gonna actually use as daily brake pads. I do have a set of Hawk Performance pads, but I do not want to run these on the streets because of the brake dust that they may be given off. So I ordered these so that way after the track day, then I can just put these on and I'll be good. So we got Hawk HPS Plus pads and Hawk HPS pads rear. So these are fronts, these are rear. I ordered the less aggressive Hawk HPS ones, and then just like the Plus I ordered for the front. Just thought I'd switch it up. I know last time I ran Stop Tech Street Performance, and I liked them, but I think after like the second track day, they didn't really hold up too well. Plus I daily drove on them, so they were kind of really dusty. So I went back to OEM pads. So right now I'm running OEM pads. Stop Tech fluid, because we're gonna do the lines. So we're gonna just go ahead and swap out the fluid as well. So we'll be putting in the Stop Tech rear stainless steel lines. I already did the fronts, which is great. Now I'm gonna be putting the rears. So I have a set of Centric front and rear rotors. Now these two are brand new. The front ones are brand new. The rear ones are slightly used. Now I went to the auto parts store and I went ahead and like measured them with the caliper tool to make sure to see that like maybe I needed to have them machined down or whatever. And I mean, they could have used machining, to be honest, but they have so much life left on them. I thought, you know what, I might as well just run them. They'll be fine. So rear, front pads, these measured out to be like, so on the disc itself, it says that they should maximum be 19.1. That's the most like metal that they have on them, right? And not right now, they're like at 18.6. So they're slightly used. And the guy told me that they were slightly used, and he gave me a set of OEM ones as well, which I'll be checking out at a later time. But for now, we're going to be running these, and I don't think I'm going to be switching back and forth for rotors for sure. These are just Centric blank rotors, so nothing too special or nothing like crazy for now. I just needed some brake pads, some rotors anyway for the front, and the guy threw these in for a deal. 80 bucks, Facebook. Thank you so much. We have, of course, Subaru oil. Now, I couldn't get a hold of any multi-fuel oil, so I'm not going to do any of the oil change stuff today. But Monday, the 9th, I'll be able to get some oil. So I'll be putting that in at that time. So this will just be pushed off to the side, but that will be done. I'm not gonna videotape it because, I mean, everybody knows how to change oil. Cabin air filter, Denso brand, and OEM air filter. Now, I used the Wix air filter last time, and I really wasn't pleased with the, if you watch the 30K video, which should be like somewhere up there, but if you watch the 30K video, I did not, well, I don't even know if I expressed it, but basically I wasn't happy with the fitment. I wasn't happy with how much I struggled to put it on. So I went ahead and walked into Subaru and asked the guy for a brand new air filter, which I will be honest, and I did pay retail for it. This is $26 air filter if you walk in. So you could definitely save yourself some money if you order it online. But I just find that, you know, this is not, it's just for me, preference, fitment wise, I wanted OEM, and plus it's JDM as hell, made in Japan. So dope. We also have a P2M clutch line. There's a bunch of clutch lines, and I mean, honestly, it's just a stainless steel line. It's really short line, and I thought, you know what, let me just order the P2M one. There's not really any big special thing with these. So this is like $22 on Injuku's website, so I went ahead and threw it in with my order when I ordered the brake pads and the lines. So yeah, I'll probably be needing this. Also because I feel like my slave cylinder might be going out. I'm debating on whether I should put this in right now or not, but we'll see. I don't think I'll put this on, but depending on how I feel, yeah. So I had to take these out. So this is, remember, the shifter bushing, the rear shifter bushing, and the mount insert, the parent mount insert. I had to take them out because when I did the transmission warranty thingy, I wanted to make sure that the car was essentially like OEM, so that way they didn't think that I messed around with anything. So putting these back in, I'm not going to film doing any of that just because we've already seen it. So that's basically all the parts that I have for now that I'm going to be putting on the car. I'm also going to be throwing on my track set of wheels, my Koenigs with the Federal RSRs. Throw them on just because I don't really want to deal with like putting them on and off or whatever. So also what I'm going to be doing differently than my last track prep video is I'm going to be nut and bolt checking my entire car, because I have this weird like little clunking issue, which I'm going to be honest, now that I think about it, it may be sway bar links, but I'm going to check it out. I'm going to just tighten everything down just to make sure, because I've done a couple track days and I've never nut and bolt checked the car, and I don't think that's a good idea. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it just because peace of mind. And I mean, it doesn't really cost anything to check, you know, make sure that everything is torqued to spec that it needs to be. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and lift up the vehicle. So what I'm actually gonna be doing is I'm gonna be doing the left side tonight. So I'm gonna be doing the rotors and all that good stuff and the brake pads on that side and the line. I'm gonna do all that stuff first on that side off camera, and then on camera I'll actually be doing it on here. What I've kind of done is I basically tackle something without trying it first, and then the videos don't come out as great as I wanted them to. So yeah, we're gonna be going ahead and lifting up the car on 4 jack stands, so that way it's level, so that way I can do the transmission stuff as well. I mean, brakes are pretty standard all across. I've already done a brake swap on the HRV, which that's actually here. That's there. So go ahead and check that video out on how to change pads. It's pretty generic for most cars. It's the same for this BRZ, just different sizes, and you can look it up on FT86 Speed Factory, well, FT86 Club, to see basically how to do that. So yeah, let's go ahead and lift up the car and get to it. All right, so it's the next morning. So I went ahead and finished up the passenger side brakes. I installed the brake pads, the rotors, front and the rear lines as well. So those are all installed. It was not that difficult, to be honest. It's actually pretty simple, pretty easy. So got the right tools, typically it should not take you too long. And you can see my gloves are pretty dirty. So now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the passenger side. So I still have the wheel on there, but I've taken off the wheel on this one. So I'm thinking about just knocking out the front brakes real quick. Just because this side was the least amount of time and the back ones were the most amount of time. And then I can go ahead and pull out the wheels and give them a good cleaning before I actually put them on. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do this side. Oh, and before I actually forget, so I went ahead and did a nut and bolt check on there. So I made sure that these were tight. I made sure that the sway bar links were tight. I tried to see if there's play in the sway bar links. I don't think there's like much play to say that they're bad, but I don't know, maybe I might get a set or just wait. Also, you can't really check if this is tight because it has the cotter pin, but I checked to see if there was any play. The ball joint you can't really check, but you know, I just made sure that visibly it was not leaking any grease or anything like that, so it looks good. So what's just left is the top strut bolts, but I'm just gonna give them a good torquing down and then see if that's good. But I honestly I believe my clunking noise was an issue from the caliper bracket on the passenger side, but I don't remember ever removing that. So the bolts were pretty easy to remove, and yeah, I guess they came loose over time. So I guess it's pretty important to check, make sure that those are tight after track days. So I'll be doing that when I swap out to daily pads. So let's actually move on to the rear. All right, so brakes are all done, so I can stop talking about brakes, and now we move on to the diff fluid. Now, I've done this before when I hit 10,800 miles and I really didn't know anything about the car, but there's a bunch of DIYs. But essentially what I learned to do, break that one loose first, then break the drain, because if you drain it and you can't break that one loose, well, you can't put it back together and drive the car. You're kind of screwed. So break that one loose first, the fill, and then break loose the drain, and that applies to the transmission as well. Now I do want to note that the car is evenly jacked up. I made sure that they were all jacked up, so basically like the car is level. And I will be using Multiol 75W90. I prefer Multiol. It's done me well and I like it. Now the place that I received my my gear oil from, now the guy that I buy my Multiol fluids from sold me the gear oil, and he also gave me the drain plugs as well, which I'm really happy about, because when I went to Subaru and I asked for the crush washers on those plugs, they essentially told me that they don't exist, or you don't need to change them, which may be true, but it's better to change them out because usually they're relatively inexpensive. I would have went to the auto parts store and bought like the generic, you know, M18 drain plugs or M20 sizes or whatever, and use that. So I'm gonna compare and match them, because one's copper and then one's aluminum, and this one is like an actual crush style where it feels like it's kind of circular, and once it gets crushed down it'll get flatter. And then this one just looks like it's flat, but I think this is for the transmission and this is for the diff. So thank you, Don, at Aim For It here in Houston, Texas. He's basically my Multiol plug. I get all my oils and my Multiol brand oils and stuff. He can get that, which is great because I don't have to wait for shipping or anything like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and drain it. Not really that hard to drain fluid. And then I'm gonna fill it. And what I also like about Multiol fluids is that they use these little spouts, so this actually has enough room to get in on the side, and then I could fill it from there. And I think the rear takes 1.1 or 1.25, and then the front takes like 1.25 as well. So I have 3 total. I've done this before and it's always been the right amount. Also, just to note, I do have these nice little hex plugs. Again, usually the right tools will give you the right results. I think it's this one because it looks like I've used it before. I think this is a 14 millimeter. Let's see. That's a little too big, so I guess it's a 12 millimeter. Nope, too big. It might be the 10, but I don't see it. All right, well, I'm gonna look for it. But yeah, just get the right tools and you'll get the right results. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and yeah, I'll be back. All right, so I have the drain plug off for the diff, and you can see it's got a good amount of buildup. Now, this happened to me when I was at 10,000 miles, but I don't think it's anything really too bad, because I mean, the car does get driven hard, but I mean, it's not like it's like big chunky flakes, which would be bad. So all this is like metal because this is a magnetic drain plug, and you can see like it's kind of like grayish. Hopefully, if this camera will focus, it's kind of gray. Yeah, it's kind of like gray and black. So I'm gonna wipe it off. And like you still see kind of some of the gray chunky bits, but nothing too bad. Just looks like standard, like little, I mean, it's metal on metal contact even with lubrication, so maybe just a little bit of contact. But yeah, this gets cleaned up, then put back. I don't think it's anything major, so then we'll move on to the front. All right, so just got done with the transmission stuff, so that was a lot of fun. If you need the links to doing stuff, I'll link them down below. So the fluid change is a good write-up on FT86 Club. I was mistaken earlier when I wrote the what I needed. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do the brake fluid, because as you can see, it's pretty dark from a couple track days and just daily driving. So I have StopTech STR 600, and I don't have a turkey baster, unfortunately, which kind of sucks, but I'm gonna go ahead and fill this up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and self-bleed it until it's mostly all done, all clear. I'm gonna finish out the bottle and finish all that, and then we'll move on to the air filters and putting the wheels on. I'm gonna clean the wheels before I put them on because they have some road tar, so I'm gonna clean those up, and then should be done. So yeah, let's I guess I'm gonna do that, and then we'll be back. So this is what's come out so far. This little bottle was clear at the bottom. This thing can focus, man. So see how dark it is? Almost looks like Forbidden Coke. So yeah, I swear I've done this before on this car, so it's not the first brake fluid change, but just over time it starts getting darker and burning up and stuff like that. So yeah, so I did all four corners. This is all four corners, and I'm gonna go around and do it all over again, like I said, until that bottle is empty. Until that bottle is empty, and I think it's about halfway, so I can go around again. I'll fill that up and then do it one more time, all the way around. Fluid is at max. The oil, a lot of it came out super dirty, so I think next year I'll do another fluid change, but we'll do a lot more, and that's gonna go into some motor oil nobody ever dumped out, and gear oil, and can't really tell, but it's kind of metallic-y from the transmission, which is a little scary because I did grind a lot, but not big chunks. So yeah, you can see the fluid is, pretty a lot clearer. I noticed that the fluid for the StopTech fluid is a little bit darker, but I think next time I'll be going with a different fluid, so that's that. Now, as far as the clutch line goes, I don't think I'm going to tackle that, because I think what I'm going to do is replace the slave, and I'm going to replace the slave and the line at the same time. Clutch pedal feel kind of so I'm just going to fill this up to the max, and that's that. And then this I will be changing. The last time I changed this was at my 30K video, so I'm at 50K, so about 20,000 miles, and that's what it looks like. Now, I was really upset and not too happy with the quality of this Wix, the way it fit, so screw that. And we went ahead and ordered an OEM one. Now, what I noticed about the OEM one, it's like paper on here on the edges instead of rubber. It's like thick paper, and it says Toyota even though it said Subaru on the box. And that's the part number for you Toyota guys if you need it. It's a Denso air filter, so I could have ordered a Denso one. It's made in Japan, JDM as fuck, and I'm really happy with it. So we're gonna go ahead and put that in. Okay, I had to switch cameras, so I don't know what the hell is up with me, but apparently I can't put on air filters. This thing was really hard to put on. I don't know what the hell, so I don't know. Eventually I'm gonna just get a full replacement because I can't deal with these freaking paper filters or whatever. So alright, so that's done, and now I can't remember the last time I got a cabin air filter, but I ordered a Denso filter from Rock Auto. Unfortunately, they put it in with the daily brake pads that I'll be running, and it got smushed a little bit on the corner here. So that kind of sucks, but that's fine because it's, I don't know. So let's see what the condition is of this one. I got some stuff in here. It's not that bad. It's not too bad. It's definitely needed to be changed, but it's not that bad, to be honest. So, airflow. So I think this is the right way. I'm trying to remember because when you spray the air, it'll, like if you spray air freshener, it'll suck it up, so the airflow goes that way. So that should be right. I guess I put the other ones in upside down, so that's okay. And then you just kind of dude, what the heck. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Alright, let me just do that and then we'll go to the rest of the stuff. So that's done. Again, I don't know what's going on today. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the wheels. I'll throw the wheels on, and I think that's it. I don't really have much else to show because you should know how to put on wheels and tires, and it's not that big of a surprise. So you guys should know how to put on wheels and tires and torque everything, and you know the car will come off a jack stand. So I'm gonna finish everything up. Otherwise, I think I'm gonna end the video here. I appreciate you if you're still watching. Sorry if it was a little bit redundant from things I've done in the past, but I typically like to document what I'm doing to my car, so that way I'll have a record and might as well just post it, right? And with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching, and if you have any questions, go ahead and let me know. And otherwise, you guys have a great day.